Hello everyone and welcome back to Love English. I'm Sabrah and today I have a rather different video for you, something a little bit less formal. So basically we all know that sometimes life can get us down and sometimes life isn't always a bed of roses. So occasionally we need some expressions to sum up the unfortunate situation we may find ourselves in or to express our frustration. So here we go everyone, 12 idioms and expressions for when, let's face it, life is a little bit shit. Don't forget guys, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. We're on all of those and we do post regularly on TikTok and Instagram, things that we don't post here, so do follow us on there. Remember as well, we also have a vocabulary course available. Details about that are down in the description box. Okay, so number one is of course a very classic one. This is the shit has hit the fan. The shit has hit the fan. So it's basically the worst possible outcome in a situation. If you look at the expression, the shit has hit the fan, there was already a problem because there was already the shit, basically, but it was just whether it was going to hit the fan or not, whether it was actually going to happen. So imagine that you're a student and you cheated in a test. You copied from the person next to you. And then you realize that your teacher has seen you, okay? First of all, this is the first stage of the shit has hit the fan. But so then the teacher talks to you and you try and deny this because you don't want the teacher to know that you're not good at maths, so you try and deny it. The teacher gets more angry and she says to you, I'm going to tell your parents. Now the shit has really hit the fan. So when things have gone really, really wrong, you can say, oh no, the SHIT has hit the fan.
Now the shit has really hit the fan.
Right, number two is it's gone to pot. It's gone to pot, or something has gone to pot. So we would normally put a noun in that phrase, like the dinner has gone to pot, the restaurant has gone to pot, the standards in this country have gone to pot. And essentially this means declined in quality, deteriorated, gone wrong, really. So it's where something originally was quite good or was good, and then if it's gone to pot, it's gone wrong, it's deteriorated, declined, any of those things. So older people sometimes say things like, oh, manners and politeness have really gone to pot in this country. No one knows how to behave anymore.
The morals of this country have absolutely gone to pot.
Or someone could say, my cooking has really gone to pot lately. I've really lost my touch. Can you think of something that's gone to pot in your country or in your life? Tell us about that in the comments below. The next one is a synonym, really. Something has gone to the dogs. Gone to the dogs is very similar to gone to pot, but it's perhaps a little bit stronger. It really means, ruined, really kind of destroyed. If you say, oh, it's gone to the dogs, it's almost like, we've thrown it to the dogs and that's it now, it's been completely wrecked. Imagine if you throw a toy to the dogs, what's going to happen to it? So it's really quite a negative phrase. So if you hear somebody saying, that school's really gone to the dogs, they're saying that perhaps once it was okay or it was good, but now it's really, really deteriorated in quality, in standards. It's not a good school anymore. Another example could be, oh, this party's really gone to the dogs. First the caterer didn't turn up, and now half the guests are leaving. It's really gone to the dogs. Number four, this one is a great expression. We use it a lot. This is something is on the line. Something is on the line. Now, if something is on the line, we mean it is at risk, it is in danger. Essentially, it's in danger of being lost or that the person can even pass away. If we talk about lives being on the line, we're talking about actually the possibility that the life can be lost. So, for example, if I say, my job is on the line after I made that big mistake at the event in front of my boss, I really think my job's on the line. I mean, I think I'm going to lose my job. I think I'm going to be sacked.
Your job is on the line.
If we say firefighters put their lives on the line all the time, we're saying firefighters put their lives at risks all the time. You can use this for anything that's at great risk or could be irretrievably lost. Next one, number 5, is to go awry. It's a hard word to pronounce. You need to ignore the W. To go awry. And essentially this means go wrong. It's not as serious as gone to the dogs or to go to pot, but it means something hasn't gone quite right. So we might say, oh, the plans have really gone awry now for the wedding because the venue is cancelled, so I'm going to have to look for somewhere new. So all isn't lost, but it's not going as hoped or as expected.
Chemical peel gone awry. Fascinating. Bad Botox.
Number 6, something or someone is on their last legs. Basically, this means about to break, or again, about to pass away. So if we say the washing machine is on its last legs, we mean if you put too many clothes in it, if you overload it, it could easily break. So on its last legs, not very safe, secure, or sturdy anymore, basically. We can also talk about people and animals being on their last legs. For example, we could say, the family dog, poor Toby, he's on his last legs. He's 14 now, and he's very slow, and he's got some health problems. He's on his last legs.
She's on her last legs.
Next one, something is a pile of crap. So if we say, oh, that's a pile of crap, we mean it's such rubbish. So if we watch a film and we think, oh, it's terrible, we can say, oh, well, that was a pile of crap. So it's something which is very bad. It's an expression where we're really saying that something was unenjoyable, rubbish, etc. Often we use it about performances, about meetings, about anything we've attended and experienced that we didn't enjoy. We could say, oh, that was a pile of crap.
Oh, your future is just a huge pile of crap.
The next one is to not be out of the woods. To not be out of the woods. And if you think about the woods as metaphorically representing danger, because of course a long time ago, perhaps when we didn't have a GPS and all of that on our phones, it was quite dangerous to get lost in the forest, especially if you didn't have a mobile phone to call for help. So the forest represented danger. So we have this expression to be in the woods, but we tend to use it more negatively and say we're not out of the woods, meaning we're not out of danger. So for example, imagine you're in a traffic jam and you start to see that it's clearing a little bit. You might think to yourself, oh, okay, we might be all right now. Maybe we'll be okay. The traffic's clearing. However, the better expression really is if you're not sure you're completely out of danger, if you're not convinced that the situation is really improving, you could say, we're not out of the woods yet. Anything where someone is being positive and they're expressing that, so they're saying, for example, we can pay off our debts, or I think the weather is really improving now, or the traffic's clearing, anything like that, but it's not 100% sure yet that you're going to have a positive outcome, you can say, we're not out of the woods yet.
We're not totally out of the woods.
Next one, number 9, is to screw something up. And this is basically where you ruin something. You make a complete mess of it. If you go to your IELTS exam, but you've been out the previous night for a party and you have a hangover, you're very likely to screw up the test. Bad idea, guys. Or for example, imagine you're on a date with somebody, but you're a bit nervous, and so you start talking a lot about your previous relationship. You start talking a lot about your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, and the person you're on a date with doesn't look very happy. You might say, oh no, I think I screwed it up. I was nervous and I started blabbering about my ex. These are all cases where you can use screw something up.
But I screwed it up.
The next one is very similar, but perhaps not quite as strong in terms of the language. Screw is quite strong, so it's very, very much informal, even bordering on swearing. But the next one is blow it. Blow it. If you blow something, again, you mess it up, you ruin it. If you say, oh, I blew my chance, it means I ruined my chance. So it's a very, very common one you'll hear used all the time. I think I blew the job interview today. I couldn't think of an example for when I'd worked as a teen, so I just sat there and looked really uncomfortable. I think I blew it.
I blew everything.
Number 11 is things have gone south. If you think things have gone south, it means gone downwards. And if we think that metaphorically often down means decrease, declined in quality, that's what it means. So if you think, oh, it's gone south, it means it's not gone in the right direction. It's certainly not gone as planned or as expected. Now this one is slightly more formal, so you'll hear it in the news and things like that. Someone might say, the government talks about climate change seem to have gone south. They can't seem to agree. The last one is SOS Law. Now I'm sure you know this one, it's quite a famous one. Basically the concept of SOS Law is that if something can go wrong, it probably will. And just exactly at the moment when you need it to go right, or you really want it to go right. So for example, like the Alanis Morissette song, Rain on Your Wedding Day. The Alanis Morissette song, Ironic, talks about it's like rain on your wedding day, it's like the fly in your Chardonnay. It's when the universe seems to conspire against you, when events seem to take a turn for the worst and it's out of your control and it seems really, really unfair. So, for example, imagine that you're very afraid of flying, but you think, no, I've got to go, I've got to fly. And then you fly through a storm and there's terrible turbulence and there's a traumatic experience. You would say, oh, wasn't it just sod's law? Or imagine you're going to take an English exam and there's lots of teachers that you know could be your examiner, but there's one particular teacher that you're afraid of. Perhaps they're much stricter or they look a little bit scarier, and you think, oh, please, 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 let it be one of the other teachers. There's 6 teachers, let it be one of the others. And then you walk into the exam room and it's the exact examiner you really didn't want. You would think, oh, sod's law. So it's a good one to know. Do you have a similar way to express this concept in your countries? Tell me about that in the comments below. Right, everybody, I hope these phrases have amused you somewhat, and I'm sure when you do find yourself in unfortunate circumstances, there'll be a help for expressing your frustration, or they'll come to mind and perhaps even make you laugh a little. We'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.